G'day guys, how's it going, and welcome back to another episode of Hardcore Minecraft, but this episode is going to be a little bit different. So today, seems though the update for 1.16 has been out for a small amount of time, I have a feeling that maybe a couple of new players are going to start playing again, or some old players are going to start playing again. And I just wanted to do a little bit of a tips and tricks video for Hardcore Minecraft and sort of how to survive in the early days. So on this world, if we have a look, I'm up to day 197. I've beaten the Ender Dragon and I have beaten the Wither as well. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best player, the best hardcore player, but I have survived long enough to build quite a substantial amount of things. So I thought just to share these little things with you guys and see if it helps. Hopefully it does help. So we've created a new hardcore world, and I've taken some footage from that, and I'm just going to go through the tips one by one and put some footage towards it. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope it does help. For anyone who's interested, I do a Let's Play series on my hardcore world, as you can see in the background, and I'll put a card up in the top right hand corner for anyone who would like to go and check that out. Alright, let's jump into it. Alright, to start off with, I just want to note the three differences between hardcore mode and standard hard survival mode. So hardcore mode, you're locked into the hard difficulty. In just standard hard survival mode, you can always change it to easy or even peaceful if you get into a little bit of a pinch. The second difference is that when you die, it's a permadeath, so your world is deleted. I think you can spectate it one last time, but apart from that, it's gone. You've got the one chance and that's it. And the final difference is that there's no access to the console, so there's no way of you actually typing in any sort of command. This is just locked completely right from the start. So they're the main differences between hardcore mode and hard survival mode. So let's jump into the actual tips of hardcore mode. So my first tip is check your surroundings. Check the area that you've spawned in. Sometimes you can find pretty interesting stuff. So for instance, a village would be really handy early on. You can get food that you wouldn't be able to get most other places, like carrots, potatoes, and it's just really handy early on, as well as other tools. So blacksmiths sometimes have tools, leathersmiths sometimes have a little bit of armor. It's not diamond stuff, but it's a good start. If you can start off near a village, go to it straight away. The other key thing that villages do have is beds. If you spawn in an area and there's a village around, but you have no sheep, instant bed, you've got it. You can just go across, get it, bring it back, and that's done. The second tip that I've got is mark your spawn area, because this becomes important. Generally in standard survival, when you die, if you don't have a bed that's got your respawn marker on it, you'll spawn back at the spawn chunks. This is not the case for hardcore. Obviously, it's just permadeath. But when you do go to the end and you jump back through that portal after defeating the Ender Dragon, you're gonna spawn at that spawn chunk. So if you walk 1,000 blocks one way and you haven't gone to the End Islands yet, you just want to get back and unload all your stuff, you come back and you spawn at this spawn chunks, and you've got to walk another 1,000 blocks before you get back to your area. So at the very least, if you do move away, make a nether portal there. That way you can hop into it and travel back to your base. The third tip is start thinking about what your structure is going to be early. So think about the things you're going to need later on in game. Enchanting tables, bookshelves for your enchanting tables, other farms that's going to sustain you through the early game. So a key one would be some form of food. You need to set up your food early. Food is a big problem in hardcore mode. I've had a lot of cases where I have run out of food, or I've started running out of hunger and my regen hasn't gone up, which has left me with lower hearts for a longer amount of time. And all it takes is one creeper to drop and prank you, and that's done. And it's just all about watching your food bar and making sure that is full all the time, which means keeping food on you constantly. So setting up a farm that can supply you perfectly is key in the early game. So there's two main ways past these few things that you can do to start your early game. The first way is ocean exploring. So within the oceans, in the 1.14 update, they updated all the oceans. I'm pretty sure it was that update. And they added shipwrecks. So the shipwrecks have chests in them. So the chests have iron, gold, emeralds, food, coal. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. But the key thing that they've got in there is buried treasure maps. And in the buried treasure maps, it'll take you to an island, and you can get stuff like diamond, you can get gear, you can get TNT. You'll get I think it's called the Heart of the Ocean. And I think that's about it. It varies anyway, chest to chest, but this is a good thing if you were to go out and gain a whole bunch of different buried treasure maps and go out and collect that maybe over 2-3 days. You might get lucky, you might get a full haul and deck yourself out fully in diamond, or you might not get that much, but you'll still have diamond gear, which is good enough. A good example of this, if you wanted to head over and check out Phil's tips on beginning hardcore, he showcases that style beautifully. The style that I choose to go for is a little bit slower, a little bit more safer, a little bit more careful. I just head down and mine. That's all I do. I head down, I strip mine and get my diamonds and my iron that way. So in the clips that I've shown, you'll see that that's how I do it. And it doesn't take too long. Like, I was fully kitted out in iron gear with a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword in 8 days. 8 Minecraft days, which isn't too bad, especially considering I sleep through the night. So one thing I want to talk about while mining in hardcore is closing up your gaps. So if you start mining and you find a nice vein of iron and you take that out, but you don't close up that gap, that's a potential spawning area for some form of mob. There's been many times where I've continued to strip mine, and as I'm coming back, a creeper has spawned in that area or a skeleton has spawned in that area. And if you don't have armor on, those guys it's just new level. It's completely different from survival, for the fact of if you die, you die. But, well, not die, but you know what I mean. Simply for the fact that if you die, that's it, the world is deleted. But also because they do hit harder and they do a lot more damage. So just close up those gaps. If you've got some diorite or granite or just dirt that you want to get rid of, close up those gaps. Keeps it nice and neat and make sure that there's no areas that mobs can spawn in. The next tip is shields. So prior to hardcore, I never used shields because I just didn't like them. But in hardcore early game, they are amazing. They block, I don't know the exact stats, but I'm pretty sure they block all incoming melee damage, which means that including creeper explosion, which means that if you can catch it at the right time and a creeper explodes, you don't take any damage. The shield takes a fair bit of durability off, but you are safe, and that's the key thing in hardcore Minecraft. Moving on from that, water buckets and milk buckets. So water buckets are handy because when you're mining or you're going in the overworld or whatnot, there's lava, there's fire, there's all sorts of stuff that can do real damage, especially lava. Lava's a bad one. But with a water bucket, you can move that danger away. So especially when you're strip mining, I know a lot of people use this already in survival, but it's just everything in hardcore you need to enhance. So if you just do it occasionally in survival, do it all the time in hardcore. You're turning your lava into obsidian down in your mines could be the difference between death and life. Now, milk bucket's not a big one, but I always keep one on me because the raiding parties with the illagers, when they come across, you can relatively easily kill them all. But the bad omen sticks around, and sometimes you might not be thinking and you'll just go straight into a village, especially if you've got a village nearby your house. Now, this will cause a raid, and raids are just bad early game. You just want to stay away from them because your gear's not ready. You might not have a bow, so you can't sit back and just pick them off, and they're just really hard. The Vindicators do a lot of damage. The Evokers do so much damage, especially the Vex. It's not good, but you just want to stay away from those. So once you get that bad omen effect on you, you can drink your bucket of milk and that'll go away. So it's just a nice handy thing to have. You avoid dying, you avoid losing a village too, which is important. The next tip is risk versus reward. You really have to think about this while you're playing. The things to completely stay away from: ravines. Ravines are just bad news because there's so many hidden spots above them that things can fall down constantly. If you go onto YouTube and just look at Minecraft hardcore fails, a lot of them, the deaths come from walking through ravines and creepers dropping down. It's not good, especially as they drop, they start to detonate in the air, so you don't have enough time to see them, and by the time that you hear that, it's already way too late. So ravines are just a no-no. Another bad area to go in the starting game is caverns or abandoned mine shafts. The spiders in the abandoned mine shafts do the toxic damage, so you're poisoned once they hit you once. That's not too bad, but the problem is when they gang up on you. If you have 3-4 spiders coming at you, as well as skeletons or maybe a zombie or two, it's just, you can get pinned really, really quickly and lose all that progress. So caverns, ravines, and abandoned mine shafts are just a no, a straight no. The last thing I want to touch on is the villages system, so trading systems. Now in hardcore, in hard difficulty, when a zombie attacks or kills a villager, there is a 100% chance that they are going to turn into a zombie villager. So you can use this to your benefit. If you want to get your villagers in and make a bit of a trading haul, you get your enchantments that you want or your trades that you want, and then get them attacked by a zombie. You can then heal them and they give you cheaper trades. So that is perfect. And you can pick your trades. So if you put down your job block and it's not the trade that you want, you can hit it again, pick it back up and put it down, and it'll reset that trade, which is absolutely brilliant. And you can rely on this really heavily for a lot of things. One of the key things that I used this for was getting a cleric and trading for ender pearls, because endermen hit hard. Endermen hit really hard. So getting those ender pearls from the cleric took that away completely. I didn't have to fight any endermen until I created my enderman farm. I think that was it. Maybe around day 600. I might be wrong, but I didn't have to fight any endermen at all, and I had all the stuff that I needed to get to the ender dragon. This goes for food as well. So once you start trading with farmers, you can get those golden carrots, and the golden carrots are just amazing. They heal you up really nicely and fill up a lot of food. So that's really good as well, among many other things. There's armor, you can get all sorts of stuff. It's fantastic. If you're an old school Minecraft player, you'll know about this anyway. So it is something that is extremely useful in hardcore mode. Finally, the last thing that I want to say, the last sort of tip that I've got for the beginning days anyway, is to ensure you've got the right stuff for the job. You're not going to walk to the ender dragon with leather armor and a iron sword. It's just not going to happen. Make sure you are prepared before going. It doesn't matter how prepared you are, how over prepared you are. It's about surviving. So if you've made sure that you've got everything that you need prior to these fights, it doesn't matter whether it was easy or not, or whether it should have been more challenging. You've gotten through it, and that's an achievement in itself. So good work. There's nothing wrong with that. So make sure you are prepared. When attempting those bigger sort of things like the abandoned mine shafts and the caverns, I wouldn't say ravines though. Ravines are just a no-go in general. But the ender dragon, wither, all that sort of stuff, make sure you've got your enchantments. 1.16 has seen the release of the netherite armor. So get your netherite. Get enchantments on it. Protection 4, mending, unbreaking, whatever you need on your armor, and utilize as much as you can. Potions are a really good one that I've used a lot of. Fire resistance in the nether is really handy, as well as night vision in the nether. And then your enchantments on your weapons as well. So sword with sharpness 5, knockback, sweeping edge, all that sort of stuff. Looting 3. It's really, really handy to have. It's not something that you can get away without it. So I played a lot of survival beforehand and barely ever used enchantments. I used the basic ones that I needed, but in hardcore, it's really, really essential. All right, so that's going to be it for the beginners hardcore tips. It's basically just play it smart, make sure you've got enough resources, and upgrade your gear. That's pretty much it. If you play it smart and you ensure that you've got plenty of food, you've got plenty of resources that help you survive, then you should be right. Making the right decisions, making smart decisions. Ravines, no. Caverns, no. Just be smart. Just be smart with your decisions. And you shouldn't die straight away. So I hope this has helped in some way, shape or form. We're up to day 12 and we've got a fair bit of stuff already. So I hope this has helped out a little bit. Like I said, I'm not the best, and these are just the tips and rules that I used when I was starting out to better my hardcore game. Once you get up to this point and you've got your enchantments, you've got your full diamond armor, you might even be looking at netherite armor, it's time to take on the Ender Dragon to move on to the next progression point, which is shulker boxes and just mass buildings. So I think if you guys like this episode and it was helpful enough, let me know and I will make a Ender Dragon episode as well. Using this hardcore world, I'll keep progressing and enchant everything and go and show my tips and tricks on beating the Ender Dragon in hardcore mode. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope this was helpful and it's been an interesting watch, and I also hope that I see you across in my other Let's Play Hardcore series. That would be amazing. Otherwise, let me know in the comments if there was anything else that I should touch on, and yeah, thank you for watching so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode or another episode. Bye for now.